All right, good morning, class. Okay, so in today's class, we want to continue from where we stopped in the previous class by placing the plant cell and the animal cell side by side and try to look at their what differences. And at the same time, we can still see what similarities. I think the stuffs we have at the middle, or the organelles we have at the middle, they are the ones that are common to what both animal and plant what cell. That means both animal and plant cell have Golgi vesicles, they have Golgi apparatus, they have membrane, they have peroxisome, they have cytoplasm, they have ribosome, they have nucleus, they have nucleolus, they have the rough ER, that's endoplasmic reticulum, they have the smooth ER, that's the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they have mitochondrion, they have what cytoskeleton. So while the ones we have on this part, they are the ones peculiar to only plant cell alone and to only animal cell alone. So animal cell only has chloroplast. Plant cell only rather has chloroplast. Plant cell only has cell wall. Plant cell only has amyloplast. Then this vacuole part, what I would have advised is that the vacuole in plant is large, while that in animal is what? Is small. That's just a major difference. It's not as if vacuole is absent in animal cell. It's present as well, but very what? Very small. Then for the animal cell, lysosome, called the suicidal bag, is only found in animal cell. Then centrosome, that is made up of, I love this diagram so much. This whole thing here is called centrosome. You can see the way it is. There is one like this, there's another one what? Like this, all together. So the whole thing is called centrosome. Centrosome is made up of two parts that are right angle to each other. Those two parts at right angles to each other are called the centrioles. So that simply means we have centrioles in what? Centrosome. So both centrosomes and centrioles, they are peculiar to what? Animal cell, as well as what? The lysosome, also called the what? Suicidal bag. Alright, so now based on shape, can we see any difference based on shape? Plant cell is what? Rectangular in shape. Animal cell is what? Spherical or what? Or round in shape, okay? What other difference can we see again? Like I said, large vacuole here, the vacuole there is very small. Okay, then there are some things that is stored. In plant cell, what is stored is what? Starch. But in animal cell, starch is not what? Stored. What we rather have in animal cell is what? Glycogen. Glycogen is the equivalence of starch in what? Animal cell. And that's why another name for glycogen is what? Animal starch. Are we clear about that? So having seen this diagram closely, we can now look at all what we have said in written form. So we have this now. Difference between plant and animal cell. Difference or differences between plant and animal cell. Differences between plant and animal cell. So of course, under plant cell, it has chloroplast. Under animal cell, it does not have chloroplast. I hope you are writing. Under plant cell, it is usually rectangular and definite in shape. That means not only rectangular, but that shape is what? Fixed. It's a fixed what? Shape. It's definite. Alright. But in the case of animal cell, it's usually what? Spherical. Or maybe without a definite what? Shape. For instance, the amoeba. Amoeba is what? Unicellular what? Animal. And amoeba is known to what? Be shapeless, right? So the shape is not what? Fixed. It changes from what? Time to what? Time. So that is peculiar to animal cell. Under plant cell, it has a rigid what? Cell wall. It has a rigid cell wall. While under the animal cell, it has no cell wall. And I said what we can say or attribute cell wall to in animal cell is what? Is what? Skeleton. Alright. So the function of the cell wall in plant cell is to give rigidity, shape, support. And we know in animal what supply rigidity, shape and support is what? The skeleton. So we can simply say, okay, the cell wall of animal is what? The skeleton. Alright. Then number 5, plant, it stores what? Oil. Anything you know of that is oily is sourced from what? Plant. Your palm oil, groundnut oil, coconut oil. What other oil do you know of? Palm oil, groundnut oil, coconut oil, soya oil. Okay, what other oil? and so on. Someone said engine oil. Alright, so number 5 here, we say what? It's what? It stores what? Fat. So fatty substances, they are found in what? Animal. While oily substances are found in what? Plant. Take note, oil at room temperature is what? Liquid. Fat at room temperature is what? Solid. Collectively, we can call fat and oil lipids. Alright, we skip number 4. Plant cell, it has a large vacuole. Animal cell, it has a small vacuole. Are we clear about that? Then, number 6, it stores what? Starch. Then here, it stores what? Glycogen. Animal stores glycogen, plant stores what? Starch. Number 8, it has no centriole and centrosome. We have mentioned that. We said the centrosome is made up of what? 2 structures positioned at right angle to each other, and we call those structures centrioles. So centrioles make up what we call the word centrosome. Both of them are absent in plant cell, but they are what? Present in what? Animal cell. And if you have not forgotten, your centrosomes and centrioles are what will form your spindle fibers when it comes to cell division by mitosis. So plant cells carry out their own mitosis using a different way of getting their own microtubules and spindle fibers. But for animal cell, they derive their microtubules and spindle fibers from the centrosomes and centrioles. Another difference we can see is in terms of their nucleus. In the case of plant cell, because plant cell has a large vacuole, that large vacuole has occupied the middle or a larger chunk of the space in the word cell. So the nucleus is just by the side. So it's just like this. Saying this is a plant cell, and this part is the word vacuole. So you can just add the nucleus by the side. But in the case of animal cell, the vacuole is very small. So you have the nucleus at the at the center of the cell. So the nucleus of animal cell is positioned at the center, while the nucleus of plant cell is positioned at the edge of the cytoplasm. You can quickly check that again from the diagrams we place side by side. Okay, let's check. Let's check this one. This is the animal cell. You can see the nucleus at the center. Okay. Then for plant cell, just look at this plant cell here. This part is the vacuole. You can see how large it is. And now the nucleus by the by the side. Let's check. So you can see this is the vacuole. The large part is the vacuole. So because of the large vacuole of the plant cell, this nucleus is positioned at the side. You can see the nucleus at the side, and the vacuole is occupying a large chunk of the space. You can see large central vacuole. It's peculiar to plant cell. Then for animal cell, you can see the nucleus is at the center. Then we have the vacuole just by the side. You can see the small vacuole. So small vacuole in animal cell, large vacuole in plant cell. You're welcome. Alright, okay. The point is even there. Plant cell, it has nucleus at the edge of cytoplasm. While for animal cell, it has nucleus at the center of cytoplasm. Are we clear about that? Okay. Now, I want this class to mention those things, those organelles that can only be found in plant cell. Let's go. The organelles found in plant cell only. Let's go. Chloroplast. Okay, what else? What else? Okay, what about those found only in animal cell? No. Yeah, not the common one. The ones found only in animal cell. Lysosome, okay? And what? Centrosome. You can see both of them are ending with Some. So you know easily forget. Why those in plant cell alone? Oh yeah. Chloroplasts, no. Vacuole is found. I told you that vacuole is found in both of them, but it's larger, it's smaller. Cell wall, thank you. What do you observe? Starting with CC again. So you can easily recall. What other one? Let me assist you guys. Cell wall, amyloplast. Don't include this. It's found both in what? It's just larger and it's smaller. Okay. So amyloplast can also be what? Added. Amyloplast. Alright, so why for animal cell? Just those ones precisely. Any question on that? Alright, so we can now move to our main work for today. That's just a concluding part of our previous work. Our main work for today now, I want to look at what? The levels of organization of life. Levels of organization of life. We want to see how we have been able to form a living organism from system, then to organs, then to what? Tissues, then to cells, then to organelles, even to the level of macromolecules, which are made up of what? Atoms. So atoms combine to form molecules, large molecules called macromolecules. Macromolecules combine to form organelles. Organelles combine to form cell. Cell combine to form tissue. Tissue form what? Organ. Organ form what? System. The system will now make up what we call the organism. So we call this what? Levels of organization of life. How has life been organized? Right from the level of the atom, for instance, carbon atom, to macromolecule, for instance, DNA, to organelle, for instance, nucleus, to cell, for instance, red blood cell, to tissue, for instance, the blood itself, to organ, for instance, the heart, to system, for instance, the circulatory what? System, and then to organism, for instance, rats. So we call that what? The levels of organization of life. Now let's study this diagram closely. All what I've just talked about, they are captured in this diagram. Atom combines to form molecule. Molecules combine to form large molecules called macro. Once you hear the word macro, macro means what? Large or what? Big. So macromolecules now combine to form what? Organelle. This is one of the cell organelle here. Organelles combine together, nucleus, cytoplasm, chloroplast, they are all organelles. They will now form what? Cell. Then cells combine together to form what? Tissues. Tissues combine together to form what? Organ. Organs combine to form what? System. And system form what? Organism. We call that what? The levels of organization. So that will be your heading. Levels of what? Organization. Levels of organization of life. How has life been organized? Is life just scattered? No. There's a great what? Organization. Alright. So now from the levels we have seen, from the levels we have identified, we talked about what first? Atom. We now said atom will form what? Molecules. Molecules will now combine to form large molecules called what? Macromolecules. Those large molecules will now form what? Organelles. The organelles will now form what? Cell. The cells will form what? Tissues. The tissues will now form what? Organs. Now you can see there's a difference between what? Organs and what? Organelles. Alright. The organs will now form what? System. Then the system will form what? Organism. So we'll call this the what? Hierarchy of what? Organization of what? Life. Now, atoms, they are non-living. Molecules, they are non-living. Macromolecules, they are non-living. Organelles are non-living. Where life starts from is what? Cell. That's why they'll tell you cell is the what? It's the basic structural and the functional unit of what? Life. That means life starts from what? From the cell. So the smallest living thing in your body is what? Cell. While the smallest non-living thing in your body is what? Atom. Are we clear about that? So there are atoms, there are molecules, there are macromolecules, there are organelles, but they are all what? Non-living. Life starts from cells, and all down to this what? Organism, we have life pronounced. Alright, so in our discussion, we are not going to talk about all of these ones. I can just quickly tell you what we can use as an example of macromolecule. Macromolecule simply means what? Large what? Molecules. Good example of macromolecules include your DNA. Also include your what? RNA. Don't forget, your DNA or RNA, well basically let's say the DNA is found inside the where? Nucleus. What is the nucleus? One of the components of the cell. So you can call that one what? Organelle. So DNA is found in the nucleus. So that means DNA make up what? The nucleus. So macromolecules make up what? Organelles. So that's all about macromolecules. They just combine to form what? Organelles. So now all those parts of the cell we have mentioned, things like nucleus, cytoplasm, chloroplast, and so on, they are all known as what? Organelles. Are we clear about that? They are all called what? Organelles. So let's start from the point of what? Organelles. So by definition, we said an organelle is a specialized subunit, usually within a cell, that has a specific function. An organelle is a specialized subunit, usually within a cell, that has a specific function. An organelle is a specialized subunit, usually within a cell, that has a specific function. So look at all these things you can see here. They are organelles. Nucleus, nucleolus, vacuole, lysosome, cytoplasm. They are what? They are organelles. Are we clear about that? They are what? They are organelles. Okay. Now we said organelles are aggregates of macromolecules. Yes or no? Yes. Macromolecules combine together to form what? Organelles. So we said organelles are macromolecules. They are aggregates of what? Macromolecules. Then we cited examples. Examples of this include mitochondria and chloroplasts. Examples include mitochondria and chloroplasts. Now, before I go to the next slide, let me just add this to what I've written for you guys. Organelles can be of two types. We have some organelles that do not have membrane. Do not have membrane. That means there is nothing covering them. Then we have some that have what? Membrane. Organelles without membrane and organelles with what? Membrane. Organelles without membrane. In the part of the cell, which one do you think starts with letter R? Which organelle of the cell starts with letter R from what you have discussed so far? Anybody? Which organelle of the cell starts with letter R? Ribosome. There are two of them that start with, not even two, about 4 or 5, that start with what? C. So, but which one do you think we're talking about here? No. Now, when you check the plant cell, what's on the outermost part? Cell wall. Plant cell. What's on the outermost part of the plant cell? Cell wall. So the cell wall is the outermost part of it. So it does not have anything around it again. When we say do not have membrane, that means they don't have anything that is covering what? Them. So because the cell wall is on the outermost part of the cell, it does not have anything that is what? Covering what? It. And that makes it what? Makes it an organelle that does not have what? That doesn't have membrane. So cell wall. Now, almost every other organelle you know of, they have what? Membrane. But this one and this one, they are considered as what? Non-membranous organelle. So organelles can be of two types, membranous and what? Non-membranous. So after organelle, when organelles now come together, they will form what? Cell. So next is what? Cell. The cell is the smallest fundamental unit of structure and function in living organisms. The cell is the smallest fundamental unit of structure and function in living organisms. That means by the makeup, it is cell. Then by the activities or the function, it is still what? The cell. Are we clear about that? By makeup and by activity, the smallest fundamental unit of life in living organism is called the word cell. Then we outline some examples of what? Cells. We have amoeba. So take note, amoeba is an organism that exists as what? Cell. Just one amoeba cell can exist alone. That one cell can do different function. That one cell can move. That one cell can feed. That one cell can reproduce. So it's existing as what? A single-celled what? Organism. Therefore, we call them what? Unicellular organism. Are we clear? So we also have what? The euglena. Euglena as well can what? Survive what? Alone as a single cell. We also have paramecium. Paramecium is a slippers-looking what? Organism. Alright? We also have the plasmodium. Take note. Plasmodium is the malaria parasite. Plasmodium is the malaria what? Parasite. Then we also have chlamydomonas. And we have trypanosome. Trypanosome is the one that causes what? Sleeping sickness. Called trypanosomiasis. Alright. So take note, all of these are what? Examples of organisms that exist at what? The cell level. In case you are asked, at what level of organization of life is chlamydomonas? The answer is what? Cell. At what level of organization of life is what's it called? Trypanosome. The answer is what? Cell. Are we clear about that? So all these organisms exist as what? Unicellular organisms. Now we have a note here. I said organisms existing as colony. Example of those existing as colony. Your volvox, Spirogyra is filament. Your volvox, your Pandorina, even the sponges. The sponges, they are existing as colony. That means they live together, more than one of them. But each of them is what? Unicellular. Are we clear about that? Each of them is what? Unicellular. Though they exist together as what? Colony. But each of them is what? A unicellular what? Organism. Then, we also said those that exist as filaments. The typical example of filamentous organism is what? Spirogyra. We also have Zygnema. We have Oscillatoria. We have Odogonium. And so on. So in case you are asked, at what level of organization is any of these guys or any of these guys, we still consider them under what? Cell. Though they don't exist alone, but individually they are what? Cells. Are we clear about that? Individually they are what? Cells. Though they don't exist alone, they exist together in an association. The first one as colony, they live together in colony. The other one as filament, end-to-end what? Arrangement. But each of them is what? Considered as a cell. Examples of organisms in colony. Organisms in filament. Spirogyra, Zygnema, Oscillatoria, Odogonium. Alright, so those are organisms existing as what? Filament. Don't forget, all the colonial organisms and the filamentous organisms, they are under what? Unicellular organism. And it's an example of what? A cell. This is a cell. Who can tell us which of this? Is this a plant cell or animal cell? With one reason. Is this a plant cell or animal cell? With one reason.
Animal cell.
Plant cell? No. Animal cell, what's the reason? It has lysosome. Please clap her. Where's the lysosome? Yeah. It has lysosome. We said animal cells have two parts that other cells don't have. What are the two parts? Lysosome and what? Ribosome. So both of them sound with what's it? They both have the some part, ribosome and what? Lysosome. So found only in what? Animal. So any cell that has ribosome or what's it called? Lysosome is what? Animal cell. Which other some do they have again? There's one some, centrosome. Centrosome. Alright, so you can see it, ribosome, lysosome, and centrosome. RLC in physics, we talk about the RLC circuit. The R resistor, L inductor, C capacitor. So you can use that to recall RLC or CRL, organelles found in animal cells alone. Alright, so after cell, we move on to tissue. Tissue. That girl, you are making noise in your mouth. Next, tissue. Now we said tissues are groups of similar cells carrying out similar or related function. Please mark these two words. Similar. The cells are similar. Not only that, the function they carry out is still what? Similar. So similar cells with similar function. Similar cells, similar functions. We call that what? Tissue. So tissues what? They are made up of what? Similar cells carrying out what? Similar what? Functions. As simple as that. Now look at the examples of tissues that we have what? Outlined. We mentioned what? The sponges. So the sponges, when existing together collectively, they can be called what? Tissue. We also have what? Hair. That means your hair, the strand of hair on your head is what? Tissue. Why? It is made up of what? Cells. Different what? Cells. Alright. Then, the next one, we have what? Hydra. This hydra here, now this is my illustration. Hydra is an organism. It does not exist as a cell, like amoeba, like paramecium. It exists as what? A tissue made up of what? Different cells. As a matter of fact, one of the cells in hydra is called the stinging cells. And that's why this organism can trap smaller organisms, then sting them, and after that we digest. So that means they have what? Heterotrophic mode of what? Nutrition. Alright. So then we also have what? Algae. So sponges, hair, hydra, algae. Then we also have what? Fungi. So all of these are examples of what? Tissue. So S for sponges, H and H for hydra and hair, A for algae, F for fungi, and they are all what? Tissues. So we have shaft, sponges, hair, hydra, algae, and fungi. Sponges, hair, hydra, algae, and what? Fungi. All tissues. Now take note, blood is also a tissue. Blood is also a tissue. Why is blood called a tissue? Because it is made up of what? Different cells. The cells in the blood, there are three basic cells. And we have what? Red blood cell, also called erythrocytes. Red blood cell, also called erythrocyte. White blood cell, also called leukocytes. Then we have the platelet called thrombocytes. So because of the fact that we have cells making up the blood, that makes the blood a tissue. Because we have cells making up the blood, that makes the blood tissue. So don't forget, hydra, sponges, hair, algae, fungi, they are all examples of tissue. They are organisms existing at what? The tissue level of what? Organization. Alright, so don't forget, similar cells, similar functions, tissue. Okay, so after tissue, what should be the next one? Talk about organelles, cells, tissue. What's the next? Organ now. So you can see that organelles, they are what? Part of what? A cell. Why organs are not what? Part of a cell. Organs are bigger than what? Organelles. So let's check organs now. Organs are collections of tissues grouped together performing a common function. That means the combination of several tissues will form what? Organ. So organs are collections of tissues grouped together performing a common function. So we said organs are present not only in animals but also in plants. Organs are present not only in what? Animals but also in plants. Then example of organs. Of course, in animal we have sense organs. What are the sense organs? Our eyes. Yes. Our ear. Nose. Okay. Tongue. Skin. So here are the 5 sense organs. That means all of these, they are what? Organs. All of those things are what? They are organs. So, and of course, my illustration here is the what? Is the art. This is the art here. Now, take note. This particular part of the art, we call it the aorta. Yes, this part is called the aorta. The aorta is an artery, and the aorta is the largest and longest artery. The aorta is the what? Largest and longest what? Artery. Now take note, artery is what? A blood vessel. All together, artery is what? A blood what? Vessel. So that means the heart is an organ. The blood vessels too, they are what? Organs. And what are the blood vessels? We have the artery, we have the vein, and we have the capillaries. So blood vessels and even the heart, they are what? They are organs. So take note, the artery is an organ, the heart is an organ, and so on. Okay, now for the plant part, we have onion bulb. Onion what? Onion bulb. Now this word bulb here is under what we call vegetative part. What do I call it? Vegetative part. Do you know you can use one onion bulb to raise another onion bulb? Yes, you can, and I'll give you the assignment today. What are you doing for me? Very simple. When you get home, just look for what? One onion bulb. When you hold onion bulb, the top is soft. That bottom is what? Hard. Even when you are cutting the onions, the part that looks very what? Hard. That's that bottom, right? That bottom part, that's where the stem is. That part that looks like this. Yes, that's white. Thank you. Now we know those that don't cook at home. Some girls here cannot cook. Even if they boil water, it will get burnt. Yes, some girls are like that. Mommy, the water is burnt. Now, the onion bulb looks like this. This part here is the what? Is the stem. And we have the adventitious root here. Now, do you know that if you pick your onion bulb and you just cut it this way, cut your onion bulb this way, this part is to cook, then the remaining part here, just look for a small container. It's an assignment to getting my answer on Friday. Now, get what's it called now? Your normal bottle, maybe Coke or Fanta, anything. Cut it into half. Then pour sand into it. Confirm sand, loamy soil. Pour it into it almost up to the top. Then take your onion bulb. Let this place here, let it sit inside the what? Soil. Are we clear? Then wet it every day. You can bring it here tomorrow so that you can monitor it from time to time till Friday. Before Friday, you would have seen it what? Sprouting already, growing like another what? Onion. We have not used the seed. We have not used any other thing. We use a part of the onion to grow the what? Onion. Some of those plants, you can use their leaf to grow them. Some you can use their stem. So it's not every time that we use what? Seed. So all those other parts of the plant that we can use to grow the plant, aside the seed, They are called organs of perenation. What do I call them? Organs of perenation. What do you say? Don't peel, just cut. Don't peel, leave it like that. Are we clear? They are called what? Organs of what? Perenation. If your own onion does not grow, no problem. Well, make it grow. Try your best possible. We must see changes. It must start sprouting. So organs of perenation, and I believe you know that when you keep your onion bulb for so long at home, you see green leaf going from it. Yeah, that's scallion. They call it spring onions. That's what you use for cooking fried rice. Do you know? All right. So what do you think? If I cook, you bite yourself. Look at you. Well, let's go. Organs of what? Perenation. We also call them what? Vegetative organs. That means things in a plant that we can use to grow that plant apart from the seed. If I don't want to use the seed, what are other things I can use? So they are called organs of what? Perenation. Example of organs of perenation is what? Bulb. And what are those plants you can grow from their bulb? Onion. There's one other thing that looks like onion and smells like onion. What is that? It looks like onion and smells like what? Onion. What is it? Yes, it's not onion though, but it smells like no. Yes, no, smaller in size. You see it in clusters. Garlic. Garlic is also under the word bulb. Can you say that now? So examples of bulb, we have onion, we have what? Garlic. Are we clear about that now? So onion bulb is what? Organ. Ginger. Ginger is also under what? Organs of what? Perenation. Ginger is under rhizome. I'll show you a list of them in the next slide now. Seed, root, stem, leaf, flower, they are all organs. Flower is the organ of what? Reproduction. Leaf is the organ of what? Photosynthesis, and so on. Stem help to what? Give the what's it called? Plants anchorage. Also help to take water from the soil to the what? Leaf. Seed to produce another what? Plant. Roots supply water, and so on. So don't forget, I've talked about organs of perenation. So when you hear or you see any example, onion is under organ. Why? Onion is what? A bulb. What's a bulb? An organ of perenation. So look at that here on the board. Note, organs of vegetative propagation and perenation include, look at bulb now. What do we have there? Onion and garlic. Look at rhizome. What do we have there? Ginger. Lily. Lily is also a plant, like your canna lily. No, water lily, canna lily. There are so many types of lily. There's tiger lily, a lot. Lilies are numerous. What? Wild yam. Wild yam is a form of yam I have not seen before. You have been eating domestic yam, kind of. Okay, but there's wild yam actually. I'll show you diagrams of them later on. So then bryophyllum, wild yam. You can use their bulb. Then those are you can use their bulb, onion, garlic, and lily. We have the runner. Runner include what? Sweet potato and certain what? Grasses. We have the sucker. To plant pineapple, we use the word sucker of the what? Pineapple. Same with what? Banana and what? Plantain. Then rhizome, ginger, canna lily, ferns, and some what? Grasses. We also have the corm. That include what? Cocoyam and what? Caladium. Then lastly, we have stem tubers like your yam and your Irish potato. Oftentimes, questions come out from this part in exam. So you need to make a list of these things on the board now and try as much as you can to recall them. Of course, you all know bulbs now. What are bulbs? Onion, garlic, what else? Lily. And you also know rhizome. Of course, you know what? Ginger. Question can be like, what organ of perenation does ginger make use of? The answer is what? Rhizome. And don't forget my project, onion bulb. Everybody must do it. One is 15 naira, 100 naira. It's not too. It's more than the money you used to buy chewing gum now. It's more than your chewing gum money. Some of you don't even drink sachet water. It's bottled water every day. It's more than bottled water money now. All right. I'll move on to system now. Okay, please hurry up. No time. bulbil, bulb, runner, sucker, rhizome, culm, stem tuber. Yip, EP, CC. You can easily recall this one. This form. The examples here are starting with what? C, Caladium, cocoyam. This bulbil as well. Bryophyllum. Yeah, Bryophyllum. It's also a plant. You are not familiar with most of these plants. You need to see their diagrams. I'll show you the diagrams, don't worry. Of course, you know what sweet potato is. You know that one now? You don't know. So you can now see sweet potato is what? A runner. While Irish potato is what? A stem tuber. Irish potato, stem tuber. Sweet potato, runner. Sweet, run. Irish, stem. Sweet, run. Whatever is sweet, run away from it. It can give you stomach ache. Can we move on, guys? Yes. Now we move to what? We are done with organ, right? So where are we going to? System. Yeah, sure. Don't forget the arrangement. Atom, molecule, macromolecule, organelle, cell, tissue, organ, system, organism. Atom, molecule, macromolecule, organelle, cell, tissue, organ, system, organism. Are we there? Let's move on. There's no time, guys. On to the next. System. System. Of course, if we have tissues in organs, we'll be having what? Organs in what? System. So we have system. A system is a higher level of what? Organization that consists of functionally related what? Organs. That means what make up a system are what? Organs. Mammals have many organ systems. For instance, the circulatory system transports blood through the body and to and from the what? And to and from the lungs. It includes organs such as heart. You know, I talked about this the other time that blood vessels are what? Organs. So, and what are the blood vessels that we have? Arteries, veins, and capillaries. So they are all organs along with the heart that make up the what? Circulatory system. From my illustration here, what I've used is what? Digestive system. Digestive system. So, and you can see the organs there. Liver is an organ. Stomach, another organ. Esophagus, that's the gullet, another organ. The pancreas. Pancreas. Take note. Pancreas can be called what? Mixed gland. What do I call it? Mixed gland. In case you are asked, which of the following is a mixed gland? The answer is what? Pancreas. Why is it called a mixed gland? It can make enzyme and it can make what? Hormone. It can make enzyme and it can make what? Hormone. That makes pancreas what? A mixed gland. Alright? Then you can see the gallbladder here. This one that stores bile. Gallbladder stores bile. Okay? Then we have the small intestine. Small intestine. Then we have the large intestine. Large intestine. Now look at this part of the large intestine. We call it what? Appendix. Appendix as well is an organ. And one funny thing about appendix is that what? It is known as a useless organ. It's called a useless organ because the function is not known. So that means with or without it you can survive. So, and we call such organ whose functions are not known vestigial organs. Vestigial. What do you say? That what? Okay, I love your question. Everybody has appendix. But if you feed on undercooked food or food that contains stones, dirt, when the food enter your stomach, enter your small intestine, pass through the ileocecal valve into your large intestine, some of those particles or the undercooked food will drop here. Instead of going up and coming out of the body. The word from here, they will drop here. So once the appendix become filled with dirt, it will now become swollen. The word swelling in biology is what? Itis. So when the appendix becomes swollen, we call it what? Appendicitis. Appendicitis. So the disease condition is called appendicitis. And what they just do is go and carry out surgery where they'll just cut it away. Once they cut it off, you don't have problem again. Are we clear about that? And don't forget, it's what? Useless organ. So with or without it, you are still fine. All right. Can we move on to organism now? Hurry up, guys. No time. Let me snap a picture. Quickly. Let me snap. How many? Snap one more, one more. Can you move on now? Alright, so we have discussed extensively the system. Then the next should be what? Organism. Organism. So all of those things will now make up a living organism. You are a living organism. I am a living organism. So if you like, I can put example on the organism. Just write your name there. Organism, e.g. Firdaus, e.g. Cynthia, e.g. Kemi. Organism. Organisms are individual living entities. For example, tree in a forest is an organism. The rat in your house, organism. The cat in your house, organism. You yourself, you are what? An organism. Simple as that. So let's try quickly. My brother. Akara. Oh yeah, hurry up guys, no time. Organism. Oh, you like with bread? Wow. Okay, you now wait. You now cut the bread and put the curry inside and press it. I look like now turn it like this. I mean, this will not waste our time. Are we done, guys? All right. So let's proceed. Let's do time. We move. So we are done with what? Levels of organization of what? Life. We started from what? Organelles to what? Cell to what? Tissue to what? Organ to what? System, and rounded off with what? Organism. So after that, now we want to look at what? What's it called now? Kingdoms of living organisms. Living organisms are classified into different kingdoms. According to Carolus Linnaeus, the man that worked on the division of animals and plants, he said there are just two kingdoms. Animal kingdom and plant kingdom. But there are some organisms that we can't place them under animal, we can't place them under what? Plants. Some look more like animal, but they still have some things that make them plants. Some look more like plant, but have things that make them what? Animal. So most biologists now use what? 5 what? Kingdoms, not 2 kingdoms from Carolus Linnaeus. They use what? 5 kingdoms. Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom what? Fungi, Kingdom what? Plantae, and Kingdom Animalia. Even out of these 5 kingdoms, we still have some organisms that we can't put in any of the 5 kingdoms. Example is virus. Virus is not monoran, is not protista, is not fungi, is not plant, is not animal. So we are going to discuss virus separate before looking at what the kingdoms of living organisms. So that takes us to the next slide. What do we have? Classification of living organisms into kingdom. Into kingdoms. Classification of living organisms into kingdoms. Many biologists have classified living things into 5 kingdoms. These are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Note, virus cannot fit into any of these kingdoms because it is on the borderline. Note this way, they can ask you what organism is on the borderline between living and non-living. The answer is what? Virus. What organism is on the borderline between plant and animal? What's the answer? Spiro. No, the answer is what? Euglena. Yeah, I just tested now. Euglena is on the borderline between plants and what? Animal. Why? Virus is on the borderline between living and non-living. So there are two different. Not just go and read it and now see which is on the border. Borderline, virus. Now we can pick it. Read the question completely and maybe it's what? Between living and non-living, or between plant and what? Animal. All right. Are we done? Hurry up! Hurry up! Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Are we there, guys? Are we there? Let us shoot. Let us shoot. No time. All right. Don't forget your project. Onion bulb, just one. If you don't have onion bulb, come to my house. I'll give you 1 bag of onion. That's what I'm selling. Alright, so I said let's start with what? The virus, because it's not in any of the words kingdom. Now look at what I've written on the screen. Virus, the connecting link between living and non-living. The connecting link between living and non-living. Virus can be living, virus can be non-living. That's why during the time of COVID-19, it was so severe because it's a viral stuff, and it means that if I go outside and I pick COVID-19, probably I touch something and it's on it, and I touch the virus will just what? Behave as if it is not what? Living, and will just look like crystals, like sand. By the time I get home, and for instance, I now use that hand to take my eba and I put it in my mouth, once get into my body to now become living again and start what? Fighting. So that's the way it is. So at some point they can be non-living, at some point they can be what? Living. So they are the what? They are the connecting link between what? Living and non-living. So what are the things you should note about virus? One, they are non-cellular. They are what? So that means if I see a question like this, which of the following is it has the simplest structure? Option A, amoeba. Option B, hydra. Option C, onion. Option D, virus. Option E, rat. Which of the following has the simplest structure? Now, what we'll do is this. Hydra is what? Tissue. Onion is what? Organ. Virus is what? We don't know. Amoeba is what? Cell. Rat is what? Organism. In the arrangement, what's the first one? Cell. Now, followed by tissue, followed by organ, then system and organism. Virus does not even have a cell. That means virus is not up to a cell. So the one that has the simplest structure is what? Virus. Are we clear about that? So they are what? Non-cellular, meaning that what? They don't have cell. They are not made up of a cell. What we just have in them are just two basic structures, a coat and either DNA or RNA in them. Just a coat. I'll show you the diagram very soon. Just a coat and what? Either DNA or RNA in them. So one, they are non-cellular. That means they don't have what? A cell. Two, they are microscopic. That means they're very, very small, that your naked eyes cannot what? See them. As a matter of fact, not even all the microscope can see virus. Light microscope cannot see virus. For you to be able to what? See virus, you must use what? A powerful microscope called what? Electron microscope. So they are microscopic, can only be seen under what? An electron microscope. Here should be an, please. And can only be seen under an electron microscope. Number three, they are made up of protein coats in which DNA or RNA is found, but not both. That means what make up the, what's it called now, the virus is just what? Two things. Are we there? What make up the virus is just two things, and that is what? A protein coat and what? Either DNA or RNA, but not what? Both. That means a virus can never have both DNA and RNA. It's either it is a DNA virus or RNA virus. Our popular COVID-19, that's coronavirus. Our popular coronavirus is what type of virus? Is it DNA or RNA? Coronavirus, is it DNA or RNA virus? Don't disturb yourself. Look at the word corona. What's there? What's there? What's there? They play. Coronavirus is what? RNA virus. Are you clear about that? That means what it has in it is just only RNA, no DNA. While some have just DNA, no RNA. So a virus cannot have both DNA and RNA. Alright. So we said they are made up of protein coats in which DNA or RNA is found, but not both. So now that arrangement, pay attention. That arrangement of a protein coat, that arrangement of a protein coat, as well as the DNA or RNA, the combination of that protein coat with DNA or RNA is equal to what we call what? Virion. So virion is what? Protein coat and the what? The DNA or the RNA. Alright. Number four, they possess characteristics that can be transmitted to the next generation. That means they can reproduce and they can pass their traits to their what? To their offsprings. They possess characteristics that can be what? Transmitted to the next generation. They possess characteristics that can be transmitted to the next generation. They possess characteristics that can be transmitted to the next generation. Now, this part is very important. They are responsible for many chronic diseases. Exams will ask you, which of the following is a viral infection? Or which of the following is a viral disease? So these are the lists of what? Of diseases or what's it called now? Diseases, yes, or ailments that emanates from what? Viral infection. We have AIDS, we have smallpox, we have chickenpox, we have measles, influenza, even common cold is a viral what? Infection or disease. We have polio, poliomyelitis, we have the what? Infective hepatitis. Don't forget, I've told this class today the meaning of itis. What's the meaning of itis? Thank you. God bless you. Now, the word hepat has to do with the liver. So that means this condition is characterized by what? The swelling of the liver. Yeah, hepatitis. Now, viruses are so stubborn that they can even attack bacteria. So a virus that can attack a bacteria is called a bacteriophage. So take note, bacteriophage is not a bacteria. Bacteriophage is a virus that can infect a what? Bacteria. So that means when virus is fighting, bacteria is what? Learning. Because virus can even attack what? Bacteria. So such a virus is called a bacteriophage. This is what a bacteriophage looks like. That's a bacteriophage. Bacteriophage. Can we shoot, guys? What did I say? Can I move to the next one? Are we there, guys? Can we shoot? Please have a list of those viral infections and diseases. Exams test you on that. AIDS, smallpox, chickenpox, yeah. Now we can go to the first kingdom, Kingdom Monera. Kingdom what? Kingdom Monera. So we said they are what? Prokaryotes. They are what? Prokaryotes. Now look at the board quickly. Cells can be of two types based on the nature of their nucleus and other what? Membranes that they have, or other membranous organelles that they have. The prokaryote, look at the board. The prokaryote does not have a true nucleus and does not have what? The membrane bound organelles. So in case you are asked, what is a prokaryote? You tell the person, a prokaryote is a cell that does not have a true nucleus and does not have what? Membrane bound organelles. I told us earlier on that there are two types of organelles. We have those that have membrane and those without what? Membrane. Those that have membrane are the membrane bound. And I said those without membrane, I give you an example of what? Ribosome and also what? Cell wall. I mean now, okay. So any cell that does not have a true nucleus and does not have a membrane bound organelle is referred to as what? A prokaryotic cell. So all the monerans, they are what? Prokaryotes. That means all monerans lack true nucleus and all monerans lack what? Membrane bound organelles. Are we there, guys? Now, point number one, let's try to reason. Point number one, let's reason. Monerans, they lack organized what? DNA. Who can tell us where does the DNA reside in the cell? In the nucleus, thank you. The DNA is found where? In the nucleus. Now we said they are prokaryotes, meaning what? They don't have what? A true nucleus. So because they don't have a true nucleus, their DNA cannot what? Stay in the what? Nucleus. So their DNA is not organized, it's just scattered inside the what? Cell. So their DNA is not organized. They have DNA though, but the DNA is what? Scattered inside the what? Cytoplasm. They don't have what? A definite what? Nucleus. Alright. And because of that as well, that means they will lack what? They will lack membrane bound what? Organelles. Alright. So once we hear the word prokaryote, it simply means that that organism does not have true nucleus, does not have membrane bound organelles, then the DNA of that organism will be what? Will not be organized. Because it is the nucleus that serves as what? The house that keeps what? The DNA in what? In close association altogether. Number two, they are unicellular and what? Microscopic. They are unicellular and what? Microscopic. So you can use light microscope here. Which one do we use for virus? Electron microscope. So you can simply use what? Light microscope for what? For the monerans, bacteria and the likes. Number three, they are prokaryotic. That is, they lack what? Nucleus and what? Membrane bound organelles. I said this earlier on. Yes or no? Yes. Number 4, they are motile or non-motile. Motile means what? Move. So those who are motile can move, while those who are non-motile cannot what? Move. Some monomers are motile, while others are what? Non-motile. So we are looking at what? Characteristics of monomers. They are what? They lack organized DNA. They are unicellular and microscopic, and I said we can view them with what? Light microscope. That means microscope that uses what? Light from different sources. Then they are prokaryotic, meaning that what? They lack what? True nucleus and what? Membrane bound organelles. Alright. Then they are motile or non-motile. So this diagram here is what?